If you're a virtual DJ user, then you might want to have a play with the CloudDrive. It's free. It works with your existing cloud providers, so Dropbox, Google Drive, iCloud, OneDrive, and it lets you take any playlists, any music that you like from your main computer running Virtual DJ and share it with other computers that you might have, or indeed just any other virtual DJ computer where you can just log in and access your music from. So it can be useful if you want to prepare a set and go and play in a club where they've already got a computer. You don't have to take yours with you. Or it can be useful if you want to work on a set at home that you've been working on in the studio, or work on a set at work that you've been working on at home. In other words, if you just want to put Virtual DJ on another computer to continue working to prepare your music. And it can just be good to back up everything to the cloud, right? It will do it in the background. You never have to worry about it. So if you're not interested in sync, you just want to make sure that should your laptop go bump, you've still got all your music backed up. It can be a nice way of doing that. It's totally free. It works with all those streaming services. So if you're already paying for one of those, you don't need to pay any more to do this, as long as you own or subscribe to Virtual DJ. And it backs up all of your music and your metadata, cue points and so on. So it's pretty good. We're going to cover how to set it up on one computer, what it looks like when you go to a second computer, how to set up and sync from a second computer, your own music from there or the music from the first computer. And we'll also look at setting up just in the cloud. We'll look at all the sync, all the options you've got, and how to safeguard so that you don't accidentally delete things and all that kind of stuff. And we'll end up by looking in the cloud storage itself to show you how Virtual DJ handles it behind the scenes. This is Digital DJ Tips, where we teach DJing, review DJ gear, and keep you up to speed with what's going on in the DJ world. We've got a lot to cover here, so let's start by setting it up on this computer. Now, it honestly takes about 2 minutes. You come down here to CloudDrive and you right click on it and you click log into my CloudDrive. Now, I've already logged into mine, but if you haven't logged in and you haven't chosen a drive, it'll just give you a choice of the 4 services I just told you: Google Drive, Dropbox, iCloud or OneDrive. It will take you to their, you've done this 100 times, right? It'll take you to their website. It'll say username and password, log you in, you'll come back and you'll be there logged in. But it'll still look like this one here with nothing in that folder at all when you click on it. And that's because we haven't shared anything yet. So there's a few ways of sharing something. The easiest way is maybe just to go to a folder you want to share. I'm going to sync my transitions toolbox to CloudDrive, which you can see it's doing now. So it's like 40 odd songs that I'm currently working on to produce a DJ course with, and I want to carry on working on these this evening when I get home. You can see in the background it's syncing all of this stuff up to CloudDrive. You imagine if you were syncing your whole collection, this could take a long time. I've seen DJs online saying this took them like 4 days to do and all that kind of stuff with such a big collection. Anyway, with 40 songs, you can see it's about halfway there now. So on decent internet, this is the kind of speed you're going to get. So this is all going up into the CloudDrive now. Now, there's a couple of things to understand here. The first thing is that the Transitions Toolbox playlist here is simply a mirror of the main one here. So if I were to take stuff out here and to play around with this playlist here, I don't have to worry about this one. It's not a one-time snapshot of it. This will stay in sync. This is his. It's basically a cloud version of this one here. Indeed, if you ever get confused about what folders in your cloud drive are where on your actual computer, you can right click on them. So right click on Transitions Toolbox and go to Synchronize and go to Synchronize folder. It'll actually take me back to the folder that I've synced there. All right, so while we're in that right click menu, let's have a little look at a few of the other bits and pieces that we've got here. So Synchronize, you can force the synchronization or you can just remove it, which won't remove the music from your drive or anything like that. Now with the CloudDrive itself, we can right click on it to log out. We can also select from here where we want to share this. Again, it's not tied to Dropbox. You can use any service that you currently have, and you can show or unshow your Dropbox folders as well. This is a good way of getting to music you just happen to have on your Dropbox. You can also pause synchronization, which might be a good thing to do if you are playing live and you find that it's a bit glitchy. You can just pause it and then afterwards you can enable it there. You can also get to those settings along with all the other settings in the usual settings cog at the top here by typing CloudDrive into the search at the top, and there they are all waiting for you there. All right, so that's what it looks like on this computer. Let's go over to the production computer over there where I've installed another copy of Virtual DJ, and we'll look at what this playlist looks like and the differences between this playlist on that computer and on my main computer here. Let's go. All right, let's get VirtualDJ up and running on this computer. I've got a copy of VirtualDJ here. I've also logged into my cloud drive as I did on the other one. So we now are on the same Dropbox, and it looks like this. I can go into the cloud drive and my transitions toolbox is there. This is exactly the same playlist, right? So just a couple of things to notice. Firstly, these tracks are not actually on the hard drive here. There's no transitions toolbox up here in my local music anywhere. It just isn't, because it's not the same as the computer that this was shared from. They're only in the cloud. And if I load a track, it's pulling it down from the cloud. It will take a second to load it, and then it'll take a second to analyze it for stems and for lyrics and all that stuff. So look at the synchronization options. They're different because this isn't the computer that this playlist was on and is on. This is a synchronization that only works one way at the moment. In other words, I'm reading from this playlist in the Dropbox, but I'm not writing back to it. If I change cue points here, they don't get added, etc., etc., etc. So you might think, well, that's a limitation, but actually it isn't a limitation, because if you think about it, what if you accidentally delete stuff? What if someone else makes changes on a computer that you're not in control of? Your master collection is going to be affected. It's the same as with Dropbox when people say don't use Dropbox as your only backup, right? Because if you accidentally log in on another computer and there's some corruption when you're syncing, it might wreck the Dropbox and so on. So this is a fail-safe. This is designed so that you don't make any mess up in your cherished main library by mistake, by just not really understanding what's going on here. But there is a way. If you're happy with that, if you're happy like, no, they're both my computers, I'm careful with my collection, I want to have two-way sync, you can turn that on. And the way to do that is to go to the sync options here, which are different because this is not the master computer for this playlist, and click create two-way sync on this computer. Select a folder on this computer where this is going to live. So I went to one of my DJ music folders and made a folder which I called Transitions Toolbox, although I could have called it anything. The point is it's now linked and it's downloading all that music to this computer as well. And those two collections now are in sync. Anything I change on here will change on the other one. Now I could also share any folder. If I happen to have on this computer a whole collection of music, I could share any folder from here to the Dropbox, and that would then have a one-way sync. So if I were to look at that from the other one, again, it would be read-only unless I shared it. So think about this. You could have two friends with completely separate logins to their completely personally owned versions of VirtualDJ, but as long as those friends decided to share a Dropbox, they could have shared folders or folders that they're just letting their friend look at but not do anything with, and vice versa, which is quite good. And there's a third way. The third way is where instead of going to a folder on a local computer and saying, put this into my cloud drive, you can actually go to the cloud drive directly and start a new folder of music, which is one that it will make in the cloud service, Dropbox, iCloud, Google Drive, OneDrive, whatever. And that won't be on either computer or any computer. So there is a way of going cloud first if you want. Let me show you how you do that. So instead of going to a folder on the computer and saying share this with my cloud drive, you go directly into the cloud drive itself and you click add subfolder. And then you can give the folder a name. So I'll call this, just for the sake of simplicity, cloud only music. So this folder now exists here. It doesn't exist here. It's not in my local music folders anywhere because I've only made it here. Let's put some music into this folder. I'm going to go to my desktop where I've got a little set of tunes, which I've called Second Virtual DJ Collection. So there's just a few tunes here. I'm just going to drag these directly into the cloud music folder here, right? So it's adding them to this folder here. So these are now on the Dropbox. I'll be able to see this cloud only music folder if I log into my main computer as well. So I will see both of these now on the main computer. But unlike the Transitions Toolbox music, which now on this computer, just like on the main computer, I can right click on and go to synchronization, and I can go and look at the folder that's synchronized on this local computer because it's now on both computers in a two-way sync. With the cloud only music, there's no such option because this is only in the cloud. So there are no folders on this local computer containing this music as far as VirtualDJ is concerned that it's keeping everything in sync with. Okay, we're going to go back to the main computer and I'm going to close VirtualDJ down on this computer. I'll tell you why when we get back over there. There we go, that's closed now. So this computer here has been open all the time and it's not showing in the cloud drive what I just did over there. I have to close down over there and then I have to close down and open up again over here as far as I can tell. And that means it isn't like a real-time two-way sync. As I said, I think at the beginning of the video, it's designed to kind of be working on one computer at a time with, which is fine. But just remember, if you don't see something, close down one computer, close down the other one, open it up again, and it should all be there. So having done that, we can now see that the cloud-only music is now on here, which is the playlist I made a second ago over there, which is primarily living on Dropbox, and I could delete those files off my local computer over there, they'd still be here. And notice a slightly different logo that's showing me this is a set of music that's mapped to a local drive. It's mapped to a set of music on this computer, and as we now know on the other one. This one isn't. This is just music in the cloud, and that's why the two different logos are there to help you with that. So I've got one more thing to show you about this, but I just want to talk through some of the downsides of this first. So firstly, I've just covered one of them. It really isn't designed to be a master library in the cloud. I mean, you could put all your music in a cloud-only folder, as I just did there. It means you're downloading it all the time when you want to play it, potentially. You could back up absolutely everything if you just want to use it as a backup, and then it's always there should your computer crash. But keeping it in sync between two computers all the time, everything you've got, it's not really designed to do that. It's not designed to be frictionless with that kind of workflow. So do bear that in mind. It doesn't back up things like the software settings, your they call them filter folders, don't they? Smart playlists, basically where it's intelligently making lists based on your rules. None of that stuff gets backed up. And also it doesn't actually copy streaming tracks. Of course it doesn't, because they're not yours to copy from one computer to another. So while you could be logged into a streaming service on one computer and it will let you have the metadata for that streaming collection, you still need to be logged into the same streaming service on the other computer in order for it to get the actual music. I haven't tested that, but that's what it says in the documentation. So it does work with streaming, but just make sure you're logged in on both your computers that you want to use streaming services on. So what about other ways of doing this? You don't have to use CloudDrive to use VirtualDJ on more than one computer, same with any DJ software. There's two that have always been there really. The first one is possibly the simplest. Just use an external hard drive for everything. VirtualDJ actually makes that quite easy. You just set up an external hard drive and that is where everything to do with VirtualDJ, including its home folder, its databases, the lot lives. Plug that into your second computer, open VirtualDJ, it knows where to look for it and so on. Obviously you need to have that hard drive with you or you're stuck. The second way is to use Dropbox or Google Drive, I know those two work, with their native apps on both of your computers. Let that do the syncing in the background and find a way to tell VirtualDJ to use their local folders as its master folder, which is possible. But unless you've got a bit of tech savvy, that is not for you. Now there was one thing I wanted to show you extra, which is what's actually happening inside your Dropbox folder when you do this. So look, I'm going to level up with you. I've only looked at Dropbox and I know from speaking to the developers of VirtualDJ, it's handled differently. They've done some heavy lifting behind the scenes here for you. So it's handled differently on Google Drive, on iCloud and on OneDrive. Apparently OneDrive is the least reliable of them, especially if you're starting to run out of space. Of course, you must have enough space on your streaming services, on your cloud services for this to work. So apparently OneDrive doesn't handle that particularly well, but they're generally robust. Let's just have a look inside my Dropbox folder though, and I'll show you how VirtualDJ does it here. Remember, you don't have to have the Dropbox app installed on your computer. I have, so I can show you this, but you could equally have a peek at this at the Dropbox web app as well. So inside the Dropbox that I'm using for this, I'm only using it for this, it's got a folder that it's called Fill M, and then in that it's got a folder that it's called App Data, and in that folder there's another one called VirtualDJ, and that's the only one in there. Now in this App Data folder it has all the music that you can see, and also has the database where it's keeping the metadata about these tunes. Remember too that you do have the option in CloudDrive to show all Dropbox folders. And now my Dropbox is here. It's not showing me the VirtualDJ stuff because, hey, this is getting me to the VirtualDJ stuff. But I could just bung a load of tunes in Dropbox, which has nothing to do with VirtualDJ or to do with anything. And they'd be visible there, right? So it's another way of just quickly playing stuff in VirtualDJ that you've got stored on a cloud drive. But if that's annoying to you, you can go back into CloudDrive and say, do not show all Dropbox folders, and it'll just be the stuff you've made in VirtualDJ. You know, if you want to really get under the skin of how DJing is done today, there's no better place to start than with a course from Digital DJ Tips. Our complete DJ course is a place where tens of thousands of DJs have started their DJ journey, but nowadays we also have our very popular All Access Pass that gets you access to everything we've done over the last 16 years and everything we will do in the future. It's a great investment in your DJing. So if you'd like to know more about becoming the latest Digital DJ Tips All Access member, scan the QR code there or go to the URL and register your email address with us, even if you do nothing else at this point. Then we can let you know as things move on in the future, what's added, what's new. And at some point, we'd love to have you as a member of our community. It's a great place to grow DJing over a lifetime. So thank you for watching this. I hope you found it useful. Please let me know underneath if you're stuck with this, if there's anything else you need help with in the Virtual DJ Cloud. I'd love to try and help. But meanwhile, from me, Phil, here in the studio, get good, get out there, make the moments, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.